squats. So as the name suggests, we're going to be holding something overhead while we conduct our squats. So obviously, normally you'd have something either across the back, across the front, potentially down in front of you while you squat. On this occasion, we're going to have an implement overhead. So I've just got a PVC pipe to demonstrate the movement for you. It's a very difficult movement in terms of mobility. So yes, the difficulty of the exercise will get increasingly harder as the implement overhead is heavier. Just with any other squat, the more weight that you're squatting, the harder the movement becomes. But a lot of it in this case gets difficult based on the fact that this weight is now being held overhead. So in the hardest place you could probably hold a weighted object. And it's also, you're trying to conduct a squat movement, which a lot of people struggle with the general mechanics of a squat anyway. Having arms overhead, which is another movement people struggle with, combining the two, it makes it a very tricky exercise. So often I'll use this as a warm-up exercise, just to switch on all the squat mechanics. Occasionally we might use it as a weighted resistance exercise, if you will, okay? You can squat with a single arm elevated. That's a lot easier because you've got this other arm for balance. You're not challenging this double overhead position in the same fashion. So bear in mind that you can do single arm overhead if you're looking for a more resistance-based exerise, but with the mobility incentive in mind, we're going to use something like PVC pipe, maybe an empty bar if you are quite good at this movement. Either way, you're looking to set up overhead with a nice wide grip. It's not a narrow, straight up grip. You're probably going to be going somewhere in the region of double shoulder width. You need the bar to be over your center of gravity, so here's no good. We're looking to take it back over our center of gravity, and then you're looking just to perform what you would normally do with your lower body in terms of a squat. So I would set up with whatever stance is good for me. For me, it's kind of a 5 to 1, 10 to 2 position with my feet. Chest up nice and tall, and then I sink my hips back into my squat, and you can see how the stick on my arms stay back over my centre of gravity, so they're over my hips and my ankles. The bar doesn't creep forward over here. Because if it was weighted, I'm never going to be able to suspend, keep that in the position over my head. Here, I can, and then I squat out. It is good to try this maybe with a really light object initially to get the movement going. Once you feel confident with the movement, add a little bit of weight to it, just to test the quality of the overhead position. Because if it is slightly heavier and you start to drift forward and you're squatting, then this will come out of the position. You will drop the weight because there's certain positions you just won't be able to suspend it in if it's heavy enough. Okay, so that's overhead squats.